International Steering and Sailing Rules. Rule 10. Traffic Separation Schemes.
The International Maritime Organization has adopted traffic separation schemes around the world to help prevent collision in areas with heavy vessel traffic or restricted waterways. For example, approaches to the entrances of busy ports, straits, and confined waterways. Traffic separation schemes are printed on navigation charts. IMO Assembly Resolution 572-14 on routing systems contains key definitions of terms used in traffic separation schemes. These are worth discussing before proceeding with Rule 10. Traffic separation scheme is a routing measure aimed at the separation of opposing streams of traffic by appropriate means and by the establishment of traffic lanes. Separation zone or line is a zone or line separating the traffic lanes in which ships are proceeding in opposite or nearly opposite directions, or separating a traffic lane from the adjacent sea area, or separating traffic lanes designated for particular classes of ship proceeding in the same direction. Traffic lane is an area with defined limits in which one-way traffic is established. Natural obstacles, including those forming separation zones, may constitute a boundary. Arrows are used to indicate the direction of traffic flow. Dashed lines are used to show the outside limits of traffic lanes, two-way routes, and inshore traffic zones and roundabouts. Roundabout is a routing measure comprising a separation point or circular separation zone and a circular traffic lane within defined limits. Traffic within a roundabout is separated by moving in a counterclockwise direction around the separation point or zone. Inshore traffic zone is a routing measure comprising a designated area between the landward boundary of a traffic separation scheme and the adjacent coast, to be used in accordance with the provisions of Rule 10, Paragraph D, as amended, of the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea, Collision Regulations, 1972. Two-way route is a route with defined limits inside which two-way traffic is established, aimed at providing safe passage of ships through waters where navigation is difficult or dangerous. Deep-water route is a route with defined limits which has been accurately surveyed for clearance of sea bottom and submerged obstacles as indicated on the chart. Additional requirements for traffic separation schemes are generally printed on the chart. The Chesapeake Bay Entrance Traffic Separation Scheme refers to Note G. The Coast Pilots Regulated Waters section also contains information on traffic separation schemes in the United States. For information on traffic separation schemes outside the United States, consult the appropriate volume of Sailing Directions. Moving on to Rule 10.
This rule applies to traffic separation schemes adopted by the organization and does not relieve any vessel of her obligation under any other rule.
Regardless of being in a traffic separation scheme, a vessel is still obligated to follow other pertinent navigation rules to prevent collision.
A vessel using a traffic separation scheme shall proceed in the appropriate traffic lane in the general direction of traffic flow for that lane. So far as practicable, keep clear of a traffic separation line or separation zone. Normally join or leave a traffic lane at the termination of the lane, but when joining or leaving from either side, shall do so at as small an angle to the general direction of traffic flow as practicable. A vessel shall, so far as practicable, avoid crossing traffic lanes, but if obliged to do so, shall cross on a heading as nearly as practicable at right angles to the general direction of traffic flow.
This practice will ensure that the crossing vessel's action is undoubtedly obvious to other vessels.
A vessel shall not use an inshore traffic zone when she can safely use the appropriate traffic lane within the adjacent traffic separation scheme. However, vessels of less than 20 meters in length, sailing vessels, and vessels engaged in fishing may use the inshore traffic zone. Notwithstanding subparagraph D1, a vessel may use an inshore traffic zone when en route to or from a port, offshore installation or structure, pilot station, or any other place situated within the inshore traffic zone, or to avoid immediate danger.
Inshore traffic zones may contain hazards for deep draft vessels. For example, large presence of fishing boats, shoals, and wrecks. In addition, the option for vessels of less than 20 meters in length, sailing vessels, and vessels engaged in fishing to use the inshore traffic zone means more potential danger for deep draft vessels. Case in history: extremely expensive oil spill. Just after midnight on March 24, 1989, the Exxon Valdez, an oil tanker, was outbound in Prince William Sound traffic separation scheme when she encountered a large pack of floating ice. The Exxon Valdez exited the traffic separation scheme and entered the inshore traffic zone to avoid the ice. While attempting to return to the traffic lane, the Exxon Valdez ran aground on Bly Reef. There were no injuries. However, about 258,000 barrels of oil leaked from 8 erupted cargo tanks. The vessel sustained an estimated damage of $25 million. Cargo lost was estimated at $3.4 million, and oil spill cleanup cost during 1989 was about $1.85 billion. NTSB accident investigation reports probable cause included failure of the third mate, who was in charge of the navigation watch during the grounding, to properly maneuver the vessel because of fatigue and excessive workload; failure of the master to provide a proper navigation watch because of impairment from alcohol; and failure of the Exxon Shipping Company to provide a fit master and arrested and sufficient crew for the Exxon Valdez. The undisputed fact is, inshore traffic zones may contain multiple hazards, so mariners and vessel operators must use extreme caution when navigating in inshore traffic zones.
A vessel other than a crossing vessel or a vessel joining or leaving a lane shall not normally enter a separation zone or cross a separation line except in cases of emergency to avoid immediate danger, to engage in fishing within a separation zone. A vessel navigating in areas near the terminations of traffic separation schemes shall do so with particular caution.
Vessels near the terminations of traffic separation schemes can expect the most traffic due to other vessels entering or leaving. Often these situations result in special circumstances. Hence, navigate with extreme caution.
A vessel shall, so far as practicable, avoid anchoring in a traffic separation scheme or in areas near its terminations.
Traffic separation schemes must remain as clear of obstacles as possible in order to ensure safe navigation.
A vessel not using a traffic separation scheme shall avoid it by as wide a margin as is practicable. A vessel engaged in fishing shall not impede the passage of any vessel following a traffic lane.
Fishing vessels must stay clear of other vessels following a traffic lane.
A vessel of less than 20 meters in length or a sailing vessel shall not impede the safe passage of a power-driven vessel following a traffic lane. A vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the maintenance of safety of navigation in a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with this rule to the extent necessary to carry out the operation. A vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the laying, servicing, or picking up of a submarine cable within a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with this rule to the extent necessary to carry out the operation.
Only 2 types of vessels are explicitly exempted from complying with Rule 10 to the extent necessary to carry out their work: buoy tender, vessel servicing navigation aids, essential for safe navigation, and cable layer, vessel laying, servicing, or picking up submarine cables. These cables are crucial for commercial communication.